The energy is picking up in 2026. And if you are wondering, what habits do I need to be implementing in my life to make 2026 my most successful year yet? In this video, I'm going to break down the 7 most common habits of my most successful clients that are making anywhere between 20 to 50K a month so that you can start to incorporate these habits into your everyday life and watch your business and life transform. These are habits that I have seen time and time again with my most successful clients, and there is a pattern that I have watched unfold within my own life, my mentors, and the clients that are absolutely crushing it. So I promise you, if you apply even one of these habits to your daily life, you are going to see the results that you get completely shift. And I'm not going to sugarcoat this for you because I think that there is too much handholding in the online space, and we need mentors that tell it how it is so that you know exactly what you need to do in order to create the success that you desire and have posted all up on your vision board. By the way, my book, Your Vision Board Life, is available on Amazon. And if you want a foolproof way to being able to manifest a life beyond your wildest dreams, go order the book. I'm going to link it in the show notes. Before I move into number 1, don't shoot the messenger. This is, again, a pattern that I have recognized, starting with number 1. Every successful person knows that everything they're experiencing is a mirror and a reflection of their behavior. If you're not liking the result that you have in your business, change the behavior and you will change the response. The thing that drives me crazy is how much hypocrisy there is in the coaching world. If you want someone to show up in your business a certain way, you better be showing up that way in your investments, in your relationships, and in your day-to-day. If you notice that your clients are defaulting or canceling their contracts or not following through with the things that they say they're going to do, look at your own behaviors and ask yourself, am I modeling what I want the people in my world to do? If I'm not, maybe I shouldn't be complaining about the things that are happening in my experience. Now, obviously, that's not a blanket statement. You're still going to have assholes come into your business that don't treat you the way that you show up and treat other people. It happens in literally every business, but like attracts like, mama. And if you start showing up and modeling the behavior that you want your people to have when they operate in your business, you're going to start attracting better clients, better relationships, and people that actually respect the standards that you set inside of your containers. So the habit that I'm inviting you into is to be the example and be the client that you wish to serve, which really leads me into the next piece. And they kind of go hand in hand together, which is radical accountability. Radical accountability essentially means that you are not pointing the finger at anyone else besides yourself for the results that you have. Now, this is actually incredibly freeing because that actually communicates to you that you have sovereign control over your destiny and over where you are going in your business. When you stop putting the blame on other people or external circumstances, you have so much more power back in you to create the reality that you desire. Why? Because there's no thing outside of you that can stop you from creating the things that you want in your life and in your business. Women that are running multiple 6- and 7-figure businesses do not need somebody to check in with them every single day to make sure that they are checking the things off of their list. They set up systems and routines and time blocking to ensure that they are holding themselves accountable, because at the end of the day, the only person that you're disappointing is yourself. This was such a big mindfuck for me when I first started my business and transitioned out of the digital marketing world. I had a 9 to 5 before I started my business, and I always had someone to answer to. But when you're running your own business, there's no one to answer to besides yourself. So at the end of the day, there's no clocking out or getting a pat on the back from your boss, because you are the boss. And many of you need to boss up and start holding yourself accountable to showing up and doing the things that you say you're going to do. I actually think it's the most insane thing ever how many people are down to drop thousands of dollars on courses, coaches, mentors, experiences, and then literally let it sit because they're overwhelmed and they don't know how to hold themselves accountable to a system or a calendar. This is entrepreneurship 101. And if there is one out of these 7 habits that I'm teaching you today that is going to make such a big difference, it's radical accountability. And since we're on the topic of investments, the third habit that every single successful person that I've ever spoken to has always reflected back to me, and this is something that I live by, is that there's actually no bad investments. And hear me out, because I am sure that there are many of you that have been burnt by a bad course or a shitty mentor. I know that I have. But even in those situations where I have dropped literally $100,000 to work with celebrity coaches, I'm still taking something away from that experience, even if it's what not to do. And in fact, what not to do has actually allowed for me to create even more success because it eliminates the things that are going to be a waste of time, ruin my reputation, or set myself up for a shitty client experience. The investments that have turned into expensive lessons are the ones that have actually allowed for me to shape and mold my experiences to be the exact opposite of that. And I'm so grateful for the times where I've invested in spaces where I didn't feel like there was intimate support. The advice was really surface level or cookie cutter, because that's taught me what I want in my spaces. And because of that, my spaces have become so much more powerful and so much more transformational for my clients. The only bad investment that you can make is the time that you are literally wasting going back and forth on making a decision. Successful people move quickly and learn in public because fast implementation means fast information. You need to stop sitting on decisions for weeks, months, years on end, because chances are you are building up this decision to be so much bigger than it actually is in your head. And you will never get as much clarity as you can from taking action, even if your mind is still saying, I need more information. So stop wasting your time kicking the can down the road and make a freaking decision. Whether it's a good investment or a bad investment, you are going to take something away from it regardless. It's either going to teach you what to do or what not to do, but either way, you are net positive. Part of the reason why I think so many people struggle to be decisive is that they get into this freeze mode where these old patterns come up that simply are a reflection of their fear and their worry and anxiety. I am someone that preaches nervous system regulation. I mean, I have an entire certification on breathwork and meditation, but successful people know the difference of resting and recharging versus resting to resist. And what I mean by that is there are certain crutches that you are probably holding onto in your life that is resistance from taking action and moving forward. Successful people don't resist doing the hard shit and then go and blame their nervous system for being dysregulated as the reason why they didn't move. You will not see a successful person blame anything outside of themselves to get out of being consistent and just showing the fuck up. This doesn't mean that you have to hustle in order to be successful. Successful people also know the difference between busy work and efficient productivity. They're very intentional with what action they take because they know what action actually creates results, and they strategically focus on working smarter and not harder rather than just getting caught up in busy work and distractions. And this is because successful people track religiously. They know exactly what outputs and inputs are creating ROI or return on investment in their business. Because of this, they can see very clearly what to double down on and what is a distraction. Right now, in your business, you are probably focusing on a million different things. The lead magnet, the freebie you've been working on, the low ticket offer, the membership, all of these things that are stretching your energy in so many different directions, but are actually just you running on a treadmill going nowhere fast. It might feel like you're being productive, but when you actually have the data and the numbers in front of you, you're going to see very quickly what is adding up to zero and what is actually creating scale. As a woman, this was actually really hard for me to wrap my head around because I always prided myself on driving my business through intuition and emotion. But at the same time, my emotions were up here and down here on this constant roller coaster of chaos that never allowed for me to feel like I had 2 feet on stable ground. This is the biggest mistake that you're making in your business right now, point blank. And if you're running your business just off of emotion, I promise you it's never going to feel stable and you're never going to be able to see what is actually important for you to be focusing on. When you do this, you're going to free up so much of your time because you're not spreading yourself so thin, focusing on a million different things. You're focusing on the things that matter, which leads me to number 6. Shiny object syndrome does not exist in the eyes of successful people. Every single client that I work with that is making $20,000 to $50,000 a month is not obsessed obsessed with quick wins or short-term satisfaction. And that's because quick and fast does not mean long-term fulfillment or sustainability. This is a skill set that is very important to master. And I know it's hard to master because guess what? Every time you log online, there's some other course creator selling you their fast, quick 30-day hack to making $1 million or viral reels to be able to get yourself in front of millions of people. All of that shit is just noise. And I hate to break it to you, but there's a reason why there's a saying, easy come, easy go. These hacks and growth strategies and dangling carrots that are in front of you are just distractions. And I promise you, the most successful people I know how to stay the course, have 90-day, 6-month, year-long, and 10-year goals. And because of that, their business isn't volatile or always latching on to the hot new thing. This doesn't mean that growth has to be slow. It just means that your mindset needs to be in it for the long run. You can't let a single moment or a single experience define where you are going. In fact, if you can just expect that things aren't going to go as planned, when things don't unfold as you want to, you're not going to have all of this suffering and meaning layered upon it because you expect that shit is going to go off track, and that's just a part of building a business. The final and probably most timely of the 7 habits of successful people is that successful people just aren't entitled. They don't expect that a single post or a single launch is going to make them a millionaire. And honestly, behind closed doors, most of these people are rolling their eyes at the people who expect just because you have an Instagram business page, you deserve to have a 6 or 7 figure a year business. You need to expect that business is going to be hard. It's going to take hard work, and not everyone is cut out to be an entrepreneur. But the trick with this is actually getting excited about the challenge, getting excited about the ways that being a business owner is going to stretch you mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and energetically. Running my own business has been the greatest gift and greatest challenge of my life, and I wouldn't change a single moment of it because of who I have become in the process. And even in seasons where I've been kicking and screaming on the floor, quite literally, still I know that I am not owed anything. Running a business takes time, it takes effort. I have to prove myself and pour into my community to earn their trust, to earn the sale. And there's way too many people that are just lazy and entitled and think that they're owed something when you're not owed jack shit. Successful people know that you need to earn an obsessed following, and if you're not willing to do that, then entrepreneurship probably isn't meant for you. Now, I know that these are hard truths to hear, but after 10 years in business and supporting literally thousands of women with being able to scale their business to 6 and 7 figures, I think I know a thing or two about the patterns that come up with every single woman that enters my world that gets insane results. And again, if you can adapt even one of these habits, I promise you what you will receive from your business this year will look vastly different than years prior. And if you're somebody that embodies all 7 of these qualities and you are ready to go deep into mentorship this year to make 2026 the year that you scale, go into the show notes description to book a call with my team and watch this video here. It is a paid training that I did back in December with my clients. I'm giving it away free to you so that you can go deep into our strategies and the techniques that we use to scale to 50K months and beyond.